Good afternoon, Tony Walker here, and today I want to begin a short series on the YouTube channel to kind of look at this question: what does the Bible say about technology? Now, a couple of years ago, I enrolled at a local college, Anderson University, working on some classes to get an MDiv degree, and I just finished up this past semester, and one of the classes that I took with Dr. Channing Chrysler there at the school was a class on the topic of biblical theology. We go take a topic and look at it as it progresses through God's Word from beginning to end. And at the end of the class, our final assignment was a fairly good-sized paper, and he gave us some liberty on what we could research for that final paper. And I asked his permission if I could write a paper on, as you see in the title of the video, a biblical theology of technology. A biblical theology of technology. Now, that's not original with me. Many people have written much longer and much better things about it than I have. But it was my beginning introduction into this little area on taking two things that I love, technology and God's Word, and not forcing the two together in a contrived way to try to say something that I want to say anyway, but actually look at the gift we have of technology through a biblical lens as best as I could. And so the end result of that assignment was a paper about 20 pages long that I wrote, just simply titled A Biblical Theology of Technology. And in that paper, I looked at several sections, and what I want to do today is just begin making a series of videos, not necessarily reading all 20 pages from beginning to end, but just kind of take this paper and read parts of it and then comment on it along the way. And I guess you could say, if those of you who watch with me, we'll just have a little Bible study about technology over the next few weeks. Now, in my paper, the way I structured it was this. I had a preface, and then the introduction, more paper-oriented, less biographical. And then after that, we looked at a Genesis of technology, focusing on the book of Genesis. And then we moved next to Old Testament fragments. And then going into the New Testament, we called it Wrapping Up with the New Testament. Then we moved to the section of apps, a little bit of a play on word. And then after apps, closed the paper out with File, Save, Shut Down. And then came back around with one more thing. Now, using that outline to the paper, I want to take one section, maybe each week or so, or each time I record a new video for this playlist on the YouTube channel, and just go through, share with you what I've learned, read it just piece by piece to you, and then maybe give a few closing comments along the way. If you're interested in this and looking forward to it, maybe you can leave a comment or ask a question, and we can kind of use it as a working model along the way, and just kind of see what kind of interest level there is. May just stop if there's none, but if people seem to come in and be interested, and even if it's just one or two people who are interested in what I have to say, I'd be glad to go through this. We can work through it together. Now, I had the opportunity to have lunch this afternoon with the teacher who taught this class, and he had a few kind words to say about the paper, just from I guess a mentor type perspective, not necessarily speaking of my grades and my specific things about the paper, but just in general, he gave me some kind words about it and told me that he thought, for me personally, this should be something that I should keep working on and see what comes of it in the years ahead. So I guess you can be my guinea pigs, and we'll go through this together and see if there's anything that I should take away, or if not, at least definitely things that I can add to it. So with that being said, I'm going to move to the next part of this and begin reading to you the introductory section to A Biblical Theology of Technology.